Here is a 2024 Mazda CX-90 Turbo Premium Plus in deep crystal blue over Napa leather. This is all new, an inline 6-cylinder turbocharged with this vehicle. It's more sleek, it's longer, it has more space. It replaced the CX-9 and why? I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and I'm going to touch bases on that with some comparable rivals with pros and cons, starting off with the Premium Plus. This is the sweet spot if you don't want to go up to the S. The reason why I say that is the S, you will get adaptive LED headlights and daytime runnings, whereas you're just getting the standard LED headlights and daytime runnings. The chrome is going to surround the enlarged grille. It's a wider fascia. It's more sleek. Gloss black inserts, it's going to look the same, but the clearance will be 0.1 inch more when you go to the S trim levels. This is 8 inches of clearance, and I like how they didn't forget about the lower. They added a touch of the chrome. It would have been nice to see a little bit more gloss black elements, but when you're looking at the new Toyota Grand Highlander, this has a longer front overhang, which gives it a little bit more of that luxury or upscale class look. And underneath this long hood is going to house the new eSkyActiv G 3.3 liter inline 6-cylinder turbocharged, producing 280 horsepower and 332 pound-feet of torque, paired with the eSkyActiv 8-speed automatic transmission, standard all-wheel drive. And this is 60 horsepower less than the S. However, you can run regular or premium, whichever you like. When you get into the S, you'll lose horsepower from the 340 to 319 by using regular. You'll get the same torque at 369 pound-feet. Matte black is going to come on the flared fenders and the inline 6 badging on the side. 21-inch wheels is set. These are multi-spoke, and I like that we're getting more of that grand look because we are going against a lot more rivals in which Toyota stepped up their game quite a bit to almost Lexus status in the sense of what you're getting as a package. Towing up to 5,000 pounds, and it doesn't matter if you go into the S. You're really just getting quicker speeds, but you will be losing fuel. Here, it's going to achieve 24 mpgs for the city and 28 mpgs for the highway. And not only is it more power, but it features a longitudinal engine layout, a 90-degree shift from the CX-9 transversal setup. Mazda is claiming that this will give the CX-90 additional handling, also borrowing the chassis technology from the MX-5, kinematic posture, which will send brake pressure to the inner wheels to help with cornering. So this is going to be dynamically better than the CX-9 because of the component set, or gets the Mazda badging in the chrome and the matte black that's going to surround it. Standard LED tail lights, matte black that's going to surround the lower roof spoiler, and one of the smallest shark fin antennas that I've seen on a large vehicle like this. It is shorter than the new Toyota Grand Highlander. It's a little bit longer than the Honda Pilot. Front and rear parking sensors plus a 360-degree reverse camera. So this is why I'm saying when you get into the Premium Plus, it's a sweet spot because you're getting most of the luxury amenities, and you would want to go past the Turbo S, in which you would be going 2 or 3 levels up to get some of the same features that you're getting on this. Power liftgate going into 14.9 cubic feet of storage. You get a home plug, 12-volt bag holders underneath the floor. This actually will come completely out too, by the way. So we're going to just set this on the side here. You'll have some storage that is more or less derived for what's underneath, in which you get your spare tire. Now you'll have to split fold these rear bench in the back, which is a nice thing because it's easy. You don't have to go all the way over. 40 cubic feet of storage. And now when you put this back in, you have that flat floor that lays down. Fold down those captain seats, and that will increase cargo to 74.2 cubic feet. It's not going to be the best in class, but it's also not the longest vehicle. We need to go inside this eSkyActiv G so you can hear that exhaust note. 10-way power seat adjustment, Napa leather. When you get to the Premium Plus, leather will be on the Premium, and the Preferred Plus will have leather also, with heated and ventilated front seats because of the trim we're in, with memory for the driver. Headroom and leg room. It's wide, and it comes into the interior that way also. Satin aluminum. You get the piping, contrast stitching. I like the way the air vents are situated. 12.3 infotainment with touch. Nope, doesn't have it. I just wanted to see if you're paying attention. 10.25 is underneath this trim. You have to use the rotary knob so you can zoom in, zoom out. We do have wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming Bluetooth audio, and this trim unlocks the 360-degree reverse camera, full trajectory for the front and the rear. You can also change different layouts for the camera to make it easier for your reversing. Push button start is standard. Into a standard tri-climate control settings, QI wireless charger, 12 volt MI driving modes, which starts off with sport. Give it a few seconds, it's coming, I promise. Ready? Here it is. Now go into normal. Again, just takes a few seconds to configure. It's thinking about what it's doing because now it's on off-road. And I like the way the off-road looks because they put the compass, here in a second, right in the center. Leather wrap, 3-spoke steering wheel. It's heated, multi-function with adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, the paddle shifts and the stocks, and I like the design of the horn because it does look more luxurious. New gear knob for Mazda, and it's more wide here. The key fob for the CX-90. The rotary knob that's going to use everything for the infotainment, and to turn on and on the sound system with the wood trim. This is a huge center cluster, and it does not have a pass-through, which is a big problem for me. It is soft, and it is pushed up more so I like that because everyone can use the armrest. Opens up as a 2-tier. You have USB ports. It's not deep, but it is wide. The door is going to configure into the dash by the air vents to keep that sports style, and you get the wood inlays with the bows right there. Soft to touch where it needs to be, one touch up and down for all the windows, and a medium-sized storage pocket. Edgeless rear view mirror that's auto dimming that starts on the Premium, and a large panel moonroof with a heads-up display. Second row headroom is actually not too bad because of the pano. You are going to be right there if you're tall like me. Leg space is also good. This is in the seat positioning that I'm sitting. Storage behind both of the front seats, standard tri-climate control, heated rear seats, USB ports, air vents, and manual sunshades, which is always a pleasant treat. The cup holders here you can fold, and this will adjust. So whenever you are reclining this, you can adjust this armrest downwards, unlike Infiniti or Acura, because Acura doesn't even have the captain seat, so you have the pull-away seat here in the center. The door panel is going to get that wood inlays, and I like that they keep the pattern. It's a long door, so it reminds me of the Highlander, except it's a lot more soft, and you have about 3 beverage holders carved out. To enter to the third row, pull this, slides forward. It's a pretty large opening, in which 2 will fit fine, 3 we'll see here in a second. I'm gonna slide this back here, all the way, and you'll see the leg space. 2 cup holders and a USB with the speakers and a smaller window, but it doesn't have any claustrophobic feel back here because you kind of sit back. So I like that, and headroom is good. Sliding into the center becomes a little bit tight because it just drops off right here. The leg space is good because these are captain seats, so even if they fold these down and you put this up, you still can kind of stretch. Obviously cups would be there, so you'd put it right here. You have a significant area here that's going to be shared because this bulges out. So when you're looking at it here, it's going to be tight really on the edges. Sitting into the center will be probably more comfortable if only one's back here, but if 2, you're definitely going to have to sit on the sides. 280 horsepower, 332 pound-feet of torque. It's longer. It's also wider than the CX-9 that it replaces. It can fit up to 8 passengers, whereas you could only fit up to 7 passengers on the CX-9. The legroom and headroom is going to be better on this than the CX-9, so that kind of takes all of the reasoning for them to replace it. However, they could have maybe refreshed it. Mazda has been doing this, and they also did the same thing with the CX-50, which they didn't replace the CX-5 with it, but it would have been nice that they refreshed the CX-5 instead of giving a whole new variant, in which, I get it, we need to have more vehicles on the roster, but they discontinued the CX-9. We have it in sport mode. We're gonna see how well that dynamics is and give her a go. It just feels more refined. I mean, the inline 6-cylinder turbocharged, it has a nice exhaust note. It feels more premium. It really takes this car out of its class segment, in which is why the pricing can escalate to over $60,000. And a lot of people are probably going to say, wow, for a Mazda. But when you touch the materials, when you push the gas, when you see the infotainment and the full digital gauge reader, there's just a lot that makes this a lot more luxurious than the CX-9 ever was. I mean, the screen itself was an 8.8 inch. I wish it was touch. They still don't do that, which I don't know why. But dynamically speaking, they have really reconfigured this to handle itself better when you're going over speed bumps at a low speed. The seat cushions, they're soft. The suspension soaks it up pretty good. I mean, I could stretch out like this. I feel like I'm going into another state. It's crazy how wide it is. And the best part is I can use regular fuel. I'm not having to spend that extra 20 to 50 cents for premium. That's going to take me to some pros and cons, and starting off with the pros, you heard quite a few, but really there's still more. I mean, you have great clearance. It doesn't feel as high as the Grand Highlander. That one does feel a lot more taller, but I like that the door panels are raised up a little bit more so, and I feel like I'm actually sitting inside the car instead of sitting on top of it. The lane keep assist is good. It kind of keeps you in. It's not as airtight as I would say the Germans, but you're saving quite a bit of money and you're still getting quite a bit of power. Towing is good. It's not class leading, but 5,000 pounds will tick the box for whatever you need. Cargo capacity is a bit of a con, because I would have liked to see more of 80 to 85 cubic feet instead of in the 70s, because this is a longer vehicle, in which when you go to the Grand Highlander, you're getting a little bit more so. Look at this performance now. I just like the ride to it. It's not just smooth, but it's pleasant when I'm pushing the gas, because I'm getting a response that feels more aggressive and faster than the CX-9. Another con would be in the third row. They have extended the length for leg space, but it's still super tight because of the way they designed the sides. It just kind of pushes your feet more inwards, in which if you're using 3 people to sit back there, they're going to be playing footsie all day long. Turn radius at more or less a stop point is going to receive about 2-ish lanes. This is normal. You can see it's a little bit more sluggish. I like that it stays at a higher RPM, because once you're under 2, you can't hear the engine. The sound deadening is pretty good, but it really needs to be about 2.2 to 2.5 for this to take off. But the biggest problem that I have with this vehicle starts with this infotainment. I'm gonna stop right here to stop sign anyways, switch it into the camera. It doesn't cover up the full screen for the 360-degree reverse camera, which you're paying extra for this. It needs to cover. It's not touchscreen, not standard wireless Android Auto, in which when you're going into German rivals that it's trying to compete with, the technology has been increased dramatically. So they really do need to up their game with the technology. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise, website, and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like. And I'd like to thank Coast Mazda in Port Richey for giving us this 2024 Mazda CX-90 for our car review.